Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Suzerain, where last episode, Clarence Thomas, White Clarence Thomas, came and threatened us, and we told him to fuck right off. So, let us see what's on the news today. Mass shooter, game delayed, and people accusing us of being undemocratic. Okay, let's see what's up here. Presidential visit to Narble. We'll be arriving in the hotel in a few minutes. Thank you for letting me know. How is life, Serge? It's been great this last 2 months. My wife Susan recently gave birth to our son, and my daughter just started a very good high school. Congratulations, Serge. Get ready before life becomes a lot busier. I'm happy for you. I was worried that I wouldn't be able to afford a good private school if she scored less in the entrance exams, but I shouldn't have made my insecurity get to me. Erica outsmarts me all the time. I'm very proud to have a daughter like her. I hope that Tina will grow up to be like her mother. She must have taken the smarts after her Okay, I think we have a good enough relationship with Serge that he won't mind this joke. My daughter looks up to the first lady for inspiration. It's not just my daughter. She's an inspiration for almost all women in the country. But at the same time, it must be hard for the first lady as well. All this attention, yada yada. It's hard. It's hard for both of us. Sometimes forget the important people in life between all the responsibilities, those we care for. I agree. Have I told you I named my son George? Doctor said he's very healthy and thankfully so is my wife. I hope the hospital had a good service. Tell me more about your wife. It's good heart. Family comes from Sarna. A little more traditional. Really like her selflessness. It's a respectable trait to have. I already started thinking about their university education, especially Erica. I want to send her to a good private school, but with the current state of the economy, it's going to be hard for us. I can pay for the education of your children. I cannot afford that. We'll fix the economy one way or another. If anyone can, that's you, Mr. President. Thank you, Serge. I appreciate the confidence. I'm not sure I've earned it. We need to invest in infrastructure here. Still have to drive back tomorrow unless you use one of those new helicopters. We have helicopters? Why didn't we take the helicopters? Serge, you need to learn how to fly a helicopter. Thank you, Serge. Okay, let's talk about the welfare situation. Minister of Health, such a spectacular view. Minister of Education, spectacular indeed. If you look at the opposite direction, you will see that Seoul's decades of neglect did to the city. Most of the people who live in Narble are workers, farmers, and their wives and children. They're breaking their backs for close to no pay, all thanks to greedy corporations. Ooh, I like her. My intention is to help the working class. I'm glad to see eye to eye on this issue. If you look past the view, you can see the real problems like poverty. I need to tell you about my own experiences with poverty. I'm sure you have similar stories. Am I right, Mr. President? We have all gone through difficult times. We knew less fortunate families. So you could at least sympathize with the plight of these people. You don't have to be born poor to sympathize with the plight of the impoverished, much as you don't have to be born a woman to recognize Swordland's need for parity among the sexes. I like her. I really like her. Parity among the sexes shouldn't be our first priority. Of course, only a guy could say that. Look at how many high-ranking female politicians. Oh, yes, it, it must be fixed. We have a lot of female politicians. Of course, Serge. Of course, Pascal. What was I thinking? It's like America isn't racist because of Obama was president. Fucking moron. Think about how Lydia Graf got her current position. I don't necessarily believe the rumors about her in Seoul, but she never could have risen so high if she didn't parrot his cause. Is it an accident that the first female assembly speaker is such a staunch conservative? And then there was Alfonso's habit of promoting women to prominent positions to give Swordland a progressive sheen, while accomplishing nothing in reality. Women in places like Narvel are denied any opportunity to advance. The government can use a handful of female politicians from wealthy families, myself included, to pretend their only obstacle to success is their own lack of initiative. I've gotta say, Kiara has got to be my favorite cabinet member so far. Those of us who don't use our clout to help powerful men stay in power are denigrated as angry spinsters. I ask you, Mr. President, does anyone care that your strategist, Mr. Goliath, doesn't have a wife? I agree with you completely. Swordland's women deserve better. As I was saying, isn't it about time Holsard addressed this country's real issues, rather than bowing to the wishes of the hawks and fearmongers of the establishment, and diverting yet more resources to the military and law enforcement? Our welfare, healthcare, and education systems have been decaying since the recession. Swordland's poorer communities are losing hope. Hopelessness and lack of opportunities can drive people to extreme solutions. We're seeing increased crime, domestic violence, and yes, rising inequality between men and women. Leia will take crime on crime. She's an expert on the subject. Those issues must be tackled from different directions. We need to engage it holistically. If only we could stop the recession. We need to engage it holistically. I'm planning to help by using an increased budget to improve the quality of healthcare. That could prove useful, but we need to be doing a lot more education on similar issues. There is another subject I want to mention. Working on improving the rights of workers in our country, and have a proposed draft bill is currently being reviewed by our party. Swordland has fallen behind most countries on this subject, and it's my responsibility to ensure that it is not the case. We need to improve the standards to our workers. I agree, we need to improve the standards for our workers. It is also a matter of life and death. Every decade we hear of some horrific accident due to employers' disregard for their workers' safety. You back the bill if it arrives on your desk? Yes, I would. I'm relieved to hear this. It's getting a little cold out here. Let's head inside and continue our discussion. Let's start with health. Swordland has a free healthcare system. Yay! It's already one step above America. Except for a few private hospitals operating under it, most of the populace receives adequate treatment. Health issues primarily appear in rural areas due to lack of quality services. I'm doing my best to ensure that citizens of all ages receive the best health care they can. I also personally want to solve the high infant and maternal mortality problem. How many hospital beds per 10,000 citizens? 10 beds per 10,000 citizens. Very good number according to our comparisons with our other neighbors. We see a lower number in the countries of Agnolia and Welland, but obviously we can't match Lesbia and Valsgrand. Agnolia and Welland are hardly countries to take as a standard. That is fair. It's good to know we aren't in a huge health crisis. How many doctors and nurses? We have 31,594 doctors, 73,680 nurses working for the Ministry of Health. This is a high number. Don't want to be rude, but out of those numbers, how many are in urban and in rural areas? Good point. Data shows that per 10,000 people in urban areas there are about 11 doctors, while in rural areas there are only 3. That is a problem. Treatment time is still too high due to the low number of doctors in the rural areas, which gets barely any proper coverage. What is the life expectancy and mortality rates? Life expectancy is 65, so not that high. And infant mortality rate is 85 per 1,000. That is high. Well, our maternal mortality is 90 per mil. Also very high. We're doing everything we can to save mothers and their newborn. We must do everything we can. I expect nothing but your best efforts to improve the situation. We're working very hard. Thank you, Pascal. Your in-depth briefing is much appreciated. I want to hear about the education system. Soldiers' education is free, but we have a very outdated system that I want to reform. The other important issue is the lack of access to education in rural areas. Especially for young girls, your administration has the power to solve both problems. My highest priority is to get enough funding to be able to build schools in rural areas while I cleanse our educational system of its nationalistic indoctrination and sexist teachings. How many students? There are about 5 million students, 3 million in primary education, 1 million in Swordland, and 1 million in tertiary. There are 155,316 teachers. Should keep striving to make education available for all. Needs to be a change in the way of thought. We should help children to question and educate themselves. What's the literacy rate of Swordland? 80%. I'd like it to be better, but it's not bad. This is a very good indicator for future growth, but it needs to increase, definitely. It's also far lower among girls than boys. That's something that needs to be corrected. If I remember correctly, the most illiterate areas are Bergia and Angland. Although Lechevan skews the statistics for the Nargis region, which also has a vast number of illiterate citizens, this underlines my point about the lack of access to education. The difference between urban and rural. Urban areas have 3 times the number of schools. Rural areas suffer from lack of teachers. I can imagine teachers not preferring desolate areas. The salaries for teachers are very low here. We need to increase their pay to give them more incentive. I believe that's everything. And honestly, I would rather... Our healthcare is not in shambles. So if I have to choose between the two, I would rather prioritize... We have an acceptable level of healthcare, even if it does need to improve. But if we improve education, eventually it will improve healthcare. What is it, Kara? Look at this impoverished city. The streets full of potholes, the hospital barely functioning, the school half open. It's not just about Seoul or Alfonso failing. This decay in Swordland forgotten regions has been going on for many decades due to structural corruption which is fueled by capitalism. We're here to change that trend and to provide for the people. That remains to be seen. I'm working on the new education system and your support would be welcome. One way or another we need to transform. Greed and unchecked capitalism will not magically provide for the people. Tell me more about your plans. My plans require an increase in the government budget. I aim to solve the problems we highlighted with the allocated money. By building schools in these less fortunate rural areas and through fundamental changes to the education system, I will unlock the potential of all our children, boys and girls alike. Improving is a good idea. We have a mandate to improve education. We'll deliver on this. Improving in rural areas is a good idea. The investment would be the future of Swordland. Imagine the untapped potential of the youth unlocked, the knowledge and wealth they will generate. Exactly. If we make education better, we get more doctors, which will make healthcare better. Wouldn't the promotion of private education help create additional funds? Fuck off. Yes, but at what cost? I'm not supportive of the private sector in education because at the end of the day, they are focused on profit first. How about you, Pascal? What you want to do? I want to improve the low quality of healthcare in the rural areas, so I created the draft plans to increase the salary of doctors and to upgrade the equipment of the hospitals. I can do more with increased budget. Additionally, a privatization plan to promote private investments in the healthcare system could allocate escrow funds. No way. Isn't access to healthcare in rural areas an issue? Quality of healthcare in less fortunate areas matters more. I would directly diminish the depressingly high infant and maternal mortality situation. Besides, the push would also have economic benefits. I do hope to create a competition and increase the quality of healthcare with a privatization effort. A private healthcare system would increase the price of treatment and make access worse for the average citizen. I believe we have decided to promote a more planned economy. Exactly. Thank you, Kara. My expectations from our government is that we understand and focus on the needs of the people. We are elected representatives. We will prioritize their needs. There are other significant issues. I appreciate your briefings. Mr. Walda, I have bailed out people in need instead of businesses. Trust me, my priorities are correct. We will prioritize the needs of the people. I don't want to sound cynical, but almost all governments keep making the same promises. Most show we are different through our actions. I already did. I should have said I already prioritized the people. Thank you for your time. I do hope you won't repeat the same mistakes again and again. Have a good day. Okay, people are cheering us in the streets. That's good, I guess. Let's go back to Holsworth. What do we have today? Ban youth organizations. Ban the young sword. Ban the fucking fascists. Yes, I am biased. I was in the red youth. Okay, let's see. Administration announces ban on young swords. Protests appear calmer. Young swords banned. Shocking misogynist rally. We can't let this happen. Soul needs to answer for his crimes. Labor Union Rights March. Education privatization proven successful. Fuck off. It's not really. If you look at any country that has, like, Nordic countries have, I forget which Nordic country, but one Nordic country has banned private education and their public education quality skyrocketed. Let us see what we have now for the Constitution. Good morning, Mr. President. How are you, Livia? I'm about to make a stressful decisions, so not feeling that great. Mr. Rain, can you give me a hint about your reform plans? If you ask me, taking away the judge's immunity is long overdue, but it might anger a lot of people in this house. I'll take that into consideration. I hope you'll keep me informed. I'll take your coat now. I mean, you want to... You want to know a lot of things for a secretary. Why should I keep you informed? I'm the president. Good morning, everyone. After your modifications, we'll be starting the process. Let's start. According to Article 77 and 82, the President may veto a bill by returning it to the Assembly with a written statement. The articles do not contain any information on how to override a veto. As a consequence, the President has had an absolute veto power that cannot be overridden by the Grand National Assembly under any circumstance. 3/5 majority. Remove Supreme Court's vote. Okay, impeachment process. According to Article 17, the President of Swordland is not responsible for the actions performed in the exercise of presidential duties, except in the case of high treason or violation of the Constitution. In such cases, the President may be impeached by the Supreme Court in joint session with an absolute majority of its members. Therefore, the impeachment process only includes the Supreme Court, and it gives them great power over the executive. I mean, I don't want to give unelected judges the power to impeach. 2/3 majority of votes. Do I want the Supreme Court to also have to vote on the impeachment? No, only the Assembly can impeach. According to the Constitution, the President appoints the ministers to the Council of Ministers from elected members of the Assembly. This requires no confidence vote from the National Assembly. No, let the President nominate, but the Assembly has to... Let's do this the American way. The President nominates, the Assembly has to confirm. According to Article 50, a political party needs a minimum of 10% of the total national vote to win seats in the Grand National Assembly. The votes of the parties who pass the threshold are redistributed proportionally, meaning USP, which currently holds the lead, would be the main beneficiary. 3% threshold, allow many smaller parties to be elected. Okay, let's be sneaky. Let's just let the let's just let the communists and the Kurds. Okay, we've been doing a lot of things the way I think should happen, and honestly, I am pro having as much representation as possible. But I think this would just be making the game harder for myself, so I need to do some concessions on the aspect of keeping my head attached to my body. So let's just allow the people we agree with. Let's be a little bit opportunistic here. Presidential decrees. According to Article 18 and 51, the President is able to issue decrees on political, social, and economic issues that would carry the force of law. They could not contradict the Constitution and are subject to judicial review. Therefore, the President may issue decrees in many subjects without going through the Grand National Assembly. However, the Assembly may pass legislation on the same subjects to override the presidential decrees. Decrees require an enabling act. The President will not be able to issue decrees that would carry the force of law without an enabling act from the Grand National Assembly. Remove decrees. I mean, if the Assembly... I don't exactly disagree with the way it works right now. Because in this case, it would require the Assembly to agree with me, and this is more reactive. this only goes into effect in case they disagree with me. So I think I prefer to leave it the way it is. Again, partly on the front of keeping my head attached to my body, of retaining the ability to keep my head attached to my body. Let's leave it as it is. According to the Constitution, the President shall be elected for 4 years. However, there is no mention of a term limit. Let's get a 2-term term limit. Personally, I think in a perfect society, term limits aren't in an ideal society, term limits aren't necessary. But we don't live in an ideal society. Incumbents have a hell of a lot of an advantage. Term limits are an imperfect but a necessary solution. Constitution gives the justices of the Supreme Court total immunity. Nope. Article 99 of the Constitution defines the Member of Honor title is appointment procedure as well as the rights their members may exercise. A Member of Honor has absolute immunity and is considered to be permanent member of the Grand National Assembly. They are given control of their own personal security team provided by the state's presidential guards. A member is also eligible to live in a special private residence provided by the state for free. The only person who holds the title is Sargon Sol. Abolish honorary membership. Every president is an honorary member. Abolish immunity. Abolish honorary membership. Because I think the best solution, obviously this is the best solution, but a combination of these two, like make every president an honorary member, but abolish their immunity so they could be impeached and removed and then prosecuted. But let's abolish honorary membership. Let's not go half-measured. Let's abolish honorary membership. Yep, I am sure about my decisions. As sure as I can be. Looks like the amendments are ready to be proposed. The new electoral threshold will be really difficult for the party to accept. Our guys are not fond of that idea. I don't care. That's true. It will be tough to get all of their support. Some of our members may try to openly fight against this. I'm prepared to reconsider if it comes to that. We'll do our best to make it work. Any other comments? I do not agree with the new law that gives the Assembly the power to impeach the judges. Of course not, you're one of them. I'm also against the Chief Justice and his obstructionist behavior. But even if you get rid of all of them, the new judges will be less independent with this law. They will be scared to go against the administration when it's needed. I mean, the administration can't impeach judges. The parliament can. They need that protection to do their job? I don't think so. I think judges should be able to be impeached. They can't be above the law. Otherwise, new ones will be pawns. It's more important that we get rid of the old guards. After the obstacles are gone, we can strive to make it better. However, you have to be careful. I'm sure you'll be fine, but all that's happening out there, we'll need to prepare against these threats one way or the other. Yeah, I also think we should consider options that will keep my head attached to my body. I am aware. I think we can proceed now. Personally work on the wording of this proposal with my hand-picked legal experts. This proposal would be bulletproof. Chief Justice Orso will have a hard time convincing others to oppose it. In the meantime, you must introduce this proposal to our party. You will need to get them to back us if you want it to pass the Assembly. Sir, I advise you first talk to the leaders of both conservative and reformist wings of the party. As far as I'm aware, Mr. Calvin supports the reforms already. Mrs. Story will be the real problem. She became the real heavyweight after we left for the executive. Any advice in regard to dealing with them? As Miss Vectorn said, Mr. Calvin will probably be easier to persuade. We need to unite the party under this, so his support is vital. Mrs. Gloria will be tougher to break. The problem is that she's capable of turning the moderates and the conservatives against us. As much as I don't want to say this, if she makes demands to change the proposal, you may need to give in. Thanks for the advice. Okay, what else do we need to do? Dinner with the Business Council. This should be fun. Walter Tusk, the motherfucker who tried to bribe me. And Simon Hull, the guy. This is the guy that we are friends with, right? No, it's not. So who is the guy we're friends with? Who is served by a group of servers? I recommend the salmon. Let's order the salmon. The servers took their notes and asked about the second dish. Let's order some salad. I didn't have the possibility to thank you for coming today. Your presence means a great deal. Thank you. We should thank Simon for organizing this meeting. Do you want some, sir? It's Chateau de Falenco from 1934. Let's try it. Trying to bribe me with fancy wine. It tasted like any other wine. Yeah, pretty much. Is it Arcasia I'm tasting? Yes, let's pretend to be a wine snob. Maybe tasting the oak from the barrels. Oh fuck, we fucked up being a wine snob. It's definitely not Arcasia, Mr. President. Shit. I'd like to raise a toast to all of you here today. We're meeting here tonight in difficult times, but I believe that with work, cooperation, and trust, we will get through this period as well. Thank Mr. Rain again for his decisiveness when it comes to economic policies. I'm sure we'll stop this recession. Also want to thank Mr. Tux for being here today. His presence is an honor. And of course my colleagues from the Business Council, Mrs. Agnoc and Mr. Raven. For Swordland. So, how did you find the food of the best fine dining restaurant in Leshaven, Mr. President? Not a big fan of fancy food, but I might admit it's very tasty. I'm not a big fan of fancy food, but I must admit it's very tasty. Don't blame it on him, Mr. President. Didn't choose the place. Were things going on the Maroon Palace, the pressure must have increased. It did, but it was the right decision. Arcasia knows the right way of doing business. Their approach to the world is real and raw. I prefer that cutthroat approach in comparison to the niceties. It's a nice country to visit. I have traveled there often. All countries are nice to visit if you have the cash. Exactly. Money does turn the world around. Travel is the least you can buy with it. I am not a person to be motivated or influenced by money. Why would you, President? Or why wouldn't you? You work day and night for the nation, surely you deserve a higher salary? No. Just no. I saw the construction of the highway has already started. I have my concerns about the company, but I hope they do a good job. I expect that the project will bring new investments from Magnolia. The mood is already becoming positive. I have to congratulate Mr. Rain for starting such a massive project. Thank you for your support. Mr. Hall also deserves credit, of course, our great economy minister. I thought you said you were great at economy. I heard you both a new villa, You've bought a new villa, Simon. Also, that's my minister of the economy, right? Right. That's why I recognize the name. I don't comment on rumors, but I'll make an exception since we are among friends. It's true. It's a bit much when because of the state of the economy, mate. So what? My car collection is nearly the 40 mark. They are all old-timer models. Shove them up your ass, Dusk. You fucking prick. Maybe it shows overcompensation somewhat. Everybody's free to do whatever they want. Don't expect the rich to become modest in the near future, that would be a pipe dream. Some people are more sensible. I believe balance is possible. Let's not talk about finance or politics. We came here to relax. Wait, this isn't the business dinner? Then why the fuck did I come? Is that right, gentlemen? So, Mr. Wayne, why don't you tell us what's in that strong character of yours? For that you were brought up in the capital and experienced all the power shift as it happened. Is that right? Must have been tough. I tried to leave my past behind. It's difficult times, but I've learned a lot about politics. It's who you have become that matters. Never met your family, Mr. President. How are they doing, if you don't mind me asking? They're doing great. It's great to hear. Your son must be very proud of you. Family is everything. My advice would be to make sure that Frank has a solid relationship with you. He is your future after all. I'm trying my best to be a good father. He's going through the teenager period. It's difficult to connect to him. Darren seemed to be doing fine. I saw that his yacht party... Oh, fucking hell, a yacht party? Seriously, dude? Well, the rascal didn't even ask for permission to use the yacht and just took it. He basically stole it. Good news is that if I finally convinced him to go to university, he will study economics. That's a good choice. Having a degree in Swordland separates you from the rabble. Shove it up your ass, Tusk. And we especially need more people who understand economics. Maybe your son will be a great future economist. I agree that we need more economists to enter politics. It's unfortunate that Alfonso was the only leader who actually studied economics. Not that I mean anything against you, Mr. Rain. Sure you didn't. Alfonso was an inspiration. We're in this mess because of him. Mikhail, what did you just say to me? Studying doesn't get you to the finish line. Alfonso was an inspiration to all reformists. His political failure nearly destroyed us. We're here because of him. I don't think we had a chance if he hadn't screwed up. It wasn't his policies that destroyed him, it was the old guard. I believe that. I believe that too. He threatened their economic power base over the country through a vast privatization plan. They removed him and backed you after. Stop with the conspiracy theories. I think we had enough. I am not going to drink. May the wheels of fortune always turn in our favor. The future of abundance awaits us. What a shit toast, mate. Cheers to that. I think it's time we call it a night. I want to thank Mr. President for joining us, and you, Simon, for putting all this together. Thank you, Edith, for joining with a bunch of ugly rich men. It's getting late, let's call it a night. Do I really have to do niceties? President of... Oh, fuck, no. No, 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 no. I do not want to talk to you. Fuck off. What do you want? Usually the Laudenberg spokesman doesn't directly comment on the administration, but I like to say a few things since this was a special evening. All ears. Finally a president that listens to the people. It won't be easy to pass the new constitution through the Assembly and the Supreme Court. We could help you get it through. Fuck. What do you want? Many in the group are disappointed in the economic direction. Promises made during election had to be upheld. That was the main reason. We are certainly interested in maintaining a good relationship. We made promises, we had to keep them. You rejected our previous discreet offer to pick underhaul construction for the execution of the first mega infrastructure project. The action led to disappointment in the group. Oh, I'm so sorry you were disappointed. We are aware of the upcoming tax meeting and it'd be a step in the right direction if private corporations would get a tax cut. Fuck no. To boost the economy with job creation, of course, and the positive side effect would be our support to the administration throughout the entire term. I will make tax decisions objectively. The recession will end if Lothberg is on your side. Why can't we all just be friends? Cause first you tried to bribe me, and you're trying to bribe me again to cut your taxes. We have other plans to the economy. I refuse to work with this fuck. I offer you a peace branch. Either way, President. We are here and always ready to work with you if you change your mind. Don't forget that. There's nothing to work together on. Good evening. And with that prick, I'll call this for this episode. Went a bit long. Last one was a bit short. So, thank you all for watching. I have been Pope. Please leave a like, comment, subscribe, all of the things that make the algorithm happy, and I will see you all next time.